Ryan, Gareth Bale training, how fit is he? How much has he done this week?
Yeah, he's good. No, he's fine. Obviously, he arrived a little bit later than the rest of the group, playing Sunday evening. So, no, but he's fine. He's looked good this week, and yeah, he's ready.
Because he took a bit of a battering, didn't he, on Sunday night against Celta Vigo?
I don't know if you've heard, but I haven't got 11 Sports, so I've still not got my free subscription. I thought I might. No, he's fine. Like I say, he arrived a little bit late, so we just had to have a little bit of a different programme earlier in the week, but last couple of days he's been good.
You've had a couple of injury pull-outs. Is there anyone else who's doubtful at all, and how have the withdrawals affected you?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously not ideal. Mep's having to leave. George Thomas is not in the squad, but he went over on his ankle at the weekend, but that's coming along nicely. So he's got 50-50 chance for Albania. But yeah, everyone else is fine.
How much would it mean to you as a manager, and also do you think it'll mean to Wales as a football nation that you win this group and you're effectively then in Section A for the next tournament, but also 2 games away from Euro 2020?
Yeah, no, there's lots of obviously incentives to top the group. First of all, to actually win a really competitive group will be great, obviously, and then, like you say, you get a second bite of the cherry with regards to qualify for the Euros. If you don't qualify automatically, it has effect on the seedings. You know, coming the Euro draw as well. So yeah, I mean, we started off wanting to win. It's a new tournament. We wanted to win the first one, the first Nations League. It's in our hands now. It's not going to be easy because we're up against a top-class side. Very good manager, a group of players who have been together a long time and have proved over a period of time that they're tough to beat, and they're a very good team.
You went with youth against the Republic of Ireland. Would you be happy to throw those similar players in on Friday night?
Yeah, every player in the squad is available to start. And it was a great test for a lot of them young players because it's not an easy place to go, and they come out with flying colours, and it'll stand them in good stead. I said that before, going into the future. So the experience that they got was great. So yeah, I've always said, you know, it's that balance. We've got a really good balance at the moment of experienced players who've been there and done it, and young players pushing them. Not only pushing them, obviously, for selection, but every day in training, which is what I want. I want that competitive edge every day.
And last one from me. Aaron Ramsey hasn't made that many starts for Arsenal recently. How would you consider his form, and has he started practicing any German phrases yet being linked with Bayern Munich?
It's been linked with everyone, so which is expected because he's a quality player. And no, I think he's played enough. I think he's done okay, and he's obviously started last week in the Europa League, slightly different role, a bit deeper for Arsenal. Against Sporting. So no, he's fine, he's good, and yeah, I think he's had his enough games, and obviously he's training. He got a bit of the game on Sunday, so no, he's just like Gareth, he's fine. Thanks.
Thanks, Rob. Question? Yeah, Lawrence.
Harry Wilson's been playing in a deeper role for Derby. Is there a desire to see him play that for you? Have you had a look at that this week, or is he more of a forward winger for you?
No, I mean, he's flexible where he plays, Harry. Obviously, I've played him on the right. He can also play in that number 10 role. He can play on the left. So yeah, he's got that quality, and there's a lot of players like that who can play in various different roles, which is good for a coach. You know, you want players who centre forward, who are definitely just a right back, but also there's players who can be flexible in whatever role you want to play, whatever game you're playing, whatever system you're playing, and Harry definitely goes into that category.
A full house as well tomorrow. Going to be a different atmosphere to the Principality that you were at last time. What do you sort of talk to the players about? Well,
the players probably know more than me about the experience here. I had fantastic reception, and the team did in my first home game here. Obviously we had a good result and a good performance, but that wasn't full, and now it is full, so I expect it to be even better. And what's at stake also, like I said, against a very good team, we'll need the crowd's help.
Ryan, you described last week that this game was a cup final for yourselves. How do you prepare for cup finals when you're a player? Is it much different to managing that?
You prepare every game. You try and prepare every game the right way. But when there's something on the game, there's that little bit of edge, there's that little bit of added concentration, a little bit more pace maybe in training, and that's what you want. And then you want players wanting to get into that 11 as well, wanting to be in that starting lineup. And just like over in Ireland, players who can come off the bench and affect the game as well, which happened in Ireland. Gunt's come on, George Thomas come on, and did really well. So prepare different. You'd like to say not, but obviously when there is something on the game, there's that added edge.
What sort of standout finals do you remember?
The ones I lost. They stand out more than the ones I win. Obviously, 99 Nou Camp was amazing. Best feeling I've ever had on a football pitch. But yeah, 95 losing against Everton, one of the biggest disappointments in my life. And also Rome when we lost against Barcelona. Wembley, when we lost against Barcelona, you hold your hands up against a very good team. Rome was a little bit different. We started actually favourites in that game, and we just didn't turn up. Wembley was a bit different. You got to hold your hands up. We were against a very good team, perhaps the best I faced.
And for you as a manager to have a promotion on your CV so early in your career, would that be a boost for your managerial career?
I think for everyone. I think for obviously coaching staff, the players, the fans, to go into that, knowing that you're going into that Group A, Pot A, and you play, you know that next time it comes around the Nations League, you're going to be playing, or you're going to be amongst the big boys in that draw. Will be great, because you want to play against the best. You want to test yourself against the best.
There's the possibility England could be one of the opposition. Would you fancy playing England? Because your predecessor Chris Coleman said that at the Euros it was a bit of a circus. What would your view be on potential clash against England?
It's a long way to go before we start thinking about that. A long way to go, but England are in that group of elite teams at the moment. Obviously they're in A, so yeah, it could happen, but I've not really thought about that. I know what you're saying, that obviously British and players who will know a lot about, but yeah, I haven't really got thoughts until if we do get drawn against them, or yeah, it does happen.
Brian, you said earlier that you remember the cup finals you lost perhaps as much, if not more. Is it therefore the sort of like the fear of failure that drives you on? Is it those painful memories that when you're preparing for a big game, you're desperate to win because you don't want to contemplate failure?
Yeah, but you just gotta have that balance of it happens. It happens in football. You can't win every game. You can't win every cup final. You can't win every turn. We'd all like to, and it's more about taking something out of them defeats, that it doesn't happen again. So yeah, it's more of that really, not fear of failure. Everybody fails at one point. It's about just how you combat that and stop it from happening first of all. If it does happen, how you come back. And yeah, I hope we're not talking about that after the game on Friday.
You're obviously up against a vastly experienced manager.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, you're in your first year of management. What do you do to sort of narrow the gap, if you like, to make, because obviously he is a lot more experienced than you?
Well, you recognise that, like I touched on at the start, very experienced manager, good manager, and good set of players who know each other's roles, because they've played together so much, just been to the World Cup. But you concentrate on your strengths, concentrate on the players that you've got. Don't worry too much about the opposition. Of course, you've got to recognise their strengths, but more about where you can hurt them, and more about your qualities and on what you can do to influence the game.
You're unhappy with the performance over in Denmark. Do you feel confident that your players will rectify that tomorrow night and have got, as you say, the arsenal to trouble Denmark?
Yeah, I was more unhappy about the result really. I thought there was bits in the performance that we did really well, and we we were definitely in the game up to the penalty. And I said before, yeah, sometimes you get them penalties against you, sometimes you don't. But looking back at the game, we caused Denmark some problems. Obviously, we had different build-ups. They had a week really to prepare. We had just played our first Nations League game and we were on a high. And then to get up to that high again is also difficult. So we had a lot of things to combat. But overall, I wasn't too down about the performance, especially when you look back. So we need to play better, for sure. Yeah, and I'm sure we'll do that.
Nations League had some criticism for the structure and what have you, but I suppose tomorrow night it's crystal clear what the objective is, and also the magnitude of it does seem quite high, even sort of early on in your career. I was wondering, is that something you're relishing, that you've got this kind of match now as a manager, early on in your managerial career, that means a lot?
Yeah, it does mean a lot, and I said that at the beginning. I said my first game in the first games in China, I wanted to win that tournament. It's always good when you have a sort of aim, when you sort of have something to win at the end of a game or the end of a group of games. So, and this Nations League, I think every start of a new tournament there is that little bit of criticism, and especially with the Nations League, it was quite hard to get your head around it, how it worked, what could you achieve if you did well in it. But I think overall, I think it's been a success, because you look all the way through the groups, they're competitive and they're really good groups, teams that are similar quality, and that's what UEFA wanted, and I think they've got that.
Ryan, is your learning curve as a manager accelerating or slowly tailing off and becoming more steady? I don't know, how's it going? Do you find that you just, the more you get into the job, the more you learn, or have you now got your feet under the table and it's more gradual?
No, I think you just like as a player, you're just constantly learning, and I am inexperienced, coach. But obviously, it's different with internationals because it's not every day, but it's quite intense, and it's problem solving. Players not available, and having to work in a short space of time, getting over your ideas, but not giving the players too much information. So no, I mean, it's definitely still a learning curve for me. And you can do all the coaching badges in the world, you can't beat experience and on the job. And there's always something that comes up that you've not encountered before. So you've always got to be on your toes for that. When you plan for things, it's easy. It's the things that maybe surprise you, that you wasn't expecting. You got to think on your feet. That's probably, you're not ever going to get used to that. But maybe as you go on, you're better prepared for it.
You mentioned giving the players too much information. Is that one thing you can look back on?
It was something that I was conscious of when I first took over, really, because of that short space of time. I've had friends who have coached in an international environment. I've sought advice, and obviously my own thoughts as well about what, especially specific to this game, what can we get out of this game, and just work on that. Maybe 2 or 3 things in defence, 2 or 3 things in attack, a bit in transition, but you don't get a lot of time. So it's about what you think is the important things for this game during this week, what you want to get out of it, and take it from there.
Happiness into what goes out there. We obviously saw it at first hand today. Is that something that maybe had been missing before, perhaps, or is that something that you've been used to in your own experiences as a player?
No, you just gauge it as the week goes on. We've got over what we want to get from the game, our game plan, and meeting wise, you sort of really concentrate early on in the week, get as much information as you can, and just like physically, it just tails off towards the end of the week. That's how I like to work. So these last couple of days, just a little bit more relaxed, and just think about playing football. Okay, we've given you the information now just go out and enjoy yourself and express yourself. We'll revisit some of the things that we talked about earlier in the week tomorrow. But just not giving the players too much information right near the game. Just get it in early as you can, and then as the week goes on, both mentally and physically, just tailor it down a little bit.
Right.
Okay, this will be the last question. Is that right?
Christian Eriksen was comparing Gareth Bale to Ronaldo and Messi earlier in the week. Where do you stand on Eriksen and his influence on this Denmark team? Is there for all to see? What plans, if any, do you make to try and nullify his influence?
No, fantastic player, and he was the difference over in our house. He was the difference without a shadow of a doubt. So yeah, we'll have to be aware of his qualities, and we are. You know, it's one thing setting out a plan to stop them, it's another actually doing it. So yeah, we'll obviously try and look after their better players, and he is their best player without a shadow of a doubt. He can be the difference. So yeah, it's very difficult, just like it will be for Denmark to stop our quality players and players who can hurt them. But yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, he's up there with one of the top Premier League performers, and he's done it for a consistent amount of time now, both scoring goals and making goals. So yeah, we'll be up against it, trying to stop him, but we'll do our best.